In the previous video, we learned how you can default a value for presentation variable to the current period. So for example, this is month of May. If I go back and run this dashboard again, this will default to May 2020, which is the current period. And then everything in this dashboard, all the inside, they get filtered by whatever value you have selected here. Now, what if we make it a little bit better? Or maybe another way of looking at it. For example, I can have a presentation variable where I can give list of values like current period, previous period, prior period, and let user select that. It's much more user friendly. So for example, here, if I want to select previous period, I have to think about it. Okay, previous period is maybe April 2020, go to list of values and then select that or search for it and then select it. In spite of that, what if we have a presentation variable which is showing a list of values which are different, which is much more user friendly to select. So let's see how you can do that. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let me go back here and let's get rid of this. Okay, and let's get rid of this as well, because we are going to design it again using a much more clever filter, if you want to call it that. Now, before I do that, I have to do some prep work to do this. So what I've done here is you need to prepare lookup values, right? List of values. So it's pretty easy to add. So let me show you this. My list of values for presentation variable is going to be select period. Here is select period, variable name. Again, let me just call it P1. This is string, and default value is current period. And then this is coming a list of values. I want to pick it up from lookup, and I'll talk about this, what I mean by this table, why I have this table here. And let's use period name here and click on done. Now notice here, this is current period, none, and previous period. These are the three entries in that table. Now I can easily put all these values in a CSV file, upload that, create a new table, and then use that. But I don't want to do that, because what if you have to create a separate list of values which are different entries there, right? So there's a way to do that in Incorta, which is just create a lookup table. That's what I've done here. And this lookup table is based on one CSV file, lookup IDs.csv, has only one column ID, which is value 1 to 10. Now what I did here is I created another column called period name, and then just added three values using this formula here: current period, previous period, and none. So this column I'm going to use as a list of values for presentation variable. Now, if I need to create some more values for list of values, I can create another formula column, and using this logic, I can add some values there for another column. And if I need to add more values here just for this column, like prior period, which is one previous to previous period, it's pretty easy to do that. Now, we do have this list of values. Now, how do we use this? How do we filter this dashboard if user selects current period or previous period, or if user selects none? I don't want to filter it at all. Now, all these can be done using session variable. Let's go back here and look at the session variable I've created for this. So one thing I've done here is, again, let's look at this table here. We reviewed this table briefly in previous videos, which is periods. Let's preview the data here. Now, period name is decided based on a range of dates here. And then I have given a sequence ID as well to each period name, right? So if I can get a current sequence ID, current sequence based on what month it is today. So for example, today, this is month of May. So for month of May 2020, current sequence is 5. This makes it easier for me to filter based on either today, the current period, or previous period, or prior period. Now it's pretty easy to fetch the sequence ID using session variable. That's what I've done here, which is current period sequence. Now this is from the table we just reviewed based on current date and this filter here, it is returning sequence. Now if I test this, this should return 5 here, right? This is the sequence in that table. Now once I have the sequence, it's pretty easy for me to get period name for current period and previous period, right? So where is current period name and then previous period name, right? So current period name is, this is using another session variable here, and then from this periods table, give me the period name where filter is sequence is equal to current sequence, right? This will give me current period name. And to get previous period name, this is this session variable has sequence for the current period -1 here, and then this will give me previous period name. Now these two session variable hold the value for current period name and previous period name. Now you can define your filter criteria also using filter expression. That's what I've done here, which is period name check SV. This is the filter expression, right? Now once you define this filter expression, it becomes reusable. I can go and use it or reuse it in any dashboard. I don't have to put this, add this filter criteria in every dashboard, because if it's going to change later on, you have to go to each and every dashboard and change it there, which is not a nice thing to do. You can just change it in one place and it gets applied everywhere in all the dashboard where you're using filter expression. So you can see here, here one thing you have to notice that this is $period_PV is name of a presentation variable that I've used in the dashboard. This is the name I have to use. So this is one restriction you have. And if user selects current period from presentation variable, then I'm filtering date dimension by using $current period name SV. If user selects previous period, then I filter it by this. If user selects none, it means that no filter should be applied. So it should be 1 is equal to 1. Now, again, important here, the presentation variable name should be $period_PV. So let's go back to our dashboard here to use this now. Now, let's make sure our presentation variable name matches with what I'm using in filter expression. Otherwise, I'll not be able to use it. So let's click on done. Right, so right now there's no filter being applied here, but to apply this filter, I just need to go to applied filter, bring a new formula here, and then in Incorta there's something called dynamic here. Once you select this, it will show you all the filter expression that you have defined. And I just need to use this one, period name check SV. This is the one here. If you go back here, period name check SV, right? This is the one we reviewed. So let's select that and let's save this here. That's it. See, now the current period is May 2020. It's applying filter using that. I can change this to previous period as well. Click on apply. This is previous period is April 2020. It's using that. If I don't want to apply any filter, select none. Now it's not applying any filter at all.